Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandala Akaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti, Pujamulam Gurur Padam, Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahe, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Jai Gurudev. Let's chant first. We are on the 6th Adhyaay and we'll start chanting from 16 to 28. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Shashtodhyayaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Natyashnatastu yogosti na chaikanta manashnataha na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjana yukta ahar viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha yada viniyatam chittam atmaneva vatisthate nispraha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushshati sukham atyantikam yattat buddhi grahya matindriyam vetti yatra na chaivayam sthitaschalati tattvataha yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sanjitam na sa nishchayena ya uktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan sheshatah manasaivedriya gramam viniyamya samantatah shanai shanai ruparamed buddhyadriti grihitaya atma sanstham mana kritva na kinchidapi chintayet yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyam yetat atmanyeva vasham nayet prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahma bhutamakalmasham yunjanevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Om Tat Sat. Welcome once again to our... not coming? Sound is not there? We've had a little break in the Bhagavad Gita. It's on. And it's good that we have been able to start once again. And it's very nice to see that I have a good attendance of my yuvas. I'm always so happy when they are here. And not only the yuvas, but also my shishus. So very happy to see shishus and yuvas being represented. They are the future. They have to take Sanatan Dharma forward. So it's very heartwarming that you all are here. You should keep coming because this is some secret treasure which you will only appreciate later when you grow up, and all these seeds which are being sown in you, they will blossom, flower, and you'll become that huge tree which gives shade and fragrance to others. So that's my wish for all of you. Adhyaay 6, we are talking about restraint of mind, restraint of senses, and also Bhagwan from Shlok 10 has introduced the meditation process, technique of meditation. So when I see all the do's and don'ts, it reminds me of my first yatra to Kailash Mansarovar. Meditation is also like a Tirth Yatra. When we go from the government side, for the Kailash Yatra, it's very different from when we go via Tibet. Tibet, we are in the car and we can stop here and there. But when you go from the government organized yatra, there are specified places only where you can stop for the night. You cannot just stop anywhere. So you have to keep walking from morning to evening sometimes till you reach the place that you are supposed to stop. And meditation is also like that. You have to keep walking inwards till you reach the place where you are supposed to stop. And that place is Sahaj Nirvikalp Samadhi. So you keep going till you reach that place. You cannot stop. Sometimes The distances that we had to walk were 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and it is in mountainous, uneven territory. You are so tired, but you simply cannot stop. Of course, you can sit on the pony, but you cannot stop. So, to go on such a yatra, a lot of preparation is required. Yes or no? Even those of us who went via Tibet, how much we prepared, walking up and down Marine Drive, carrying one haversack on our back and going up and down the hills of Malabar Hill. So much preparation we did, not only physical but mental also. I told you all the worst possible scenario. You will not get a place to sleep, you will not get proper food to eat, you will not have any bathroom to go to. I gave you the worst possible scenario, preparing you psychologically also, emotionally also, for the hardships that you might encounter, and which we did encounter, right? Similarly, this tirth which we are going on, a journey within ourselves, also requires that kind of preparation, that kind of abhyas, practice. So let's quickly recall and recap some of the steps of the process, okay? So let's go step by step. So I think I'm taking it the way I see, not necessarily the first step given in the text, but for me, the first step is in Shlok 16 directly. Yukta Cheshtasya. Meaning, when you want to start this meditation process, first and foremost ensure all your habits are regular and disciplined. That has to be the first step. It cannot be somewhere in the middle of your practice. Then why did Bhagwan put it in the 16th Shlok instead of the 10th Shlok? Who can tell me?
Would have given up.
We would have given up on the 10th Shlok only. Nahi ho sakta hai. So, he's first given you some simple steps. So, you'll start the journey at least. And then, you know, they say, what comes first? Action or motivation? Action comes first. The action you do, you get some result. That result motivates you. If you wait for motivation to do any action, you might never start at all. So start small step. The motivation will come automatically with the success of the action. So in terms of sleep, in terms of food, in terms of work, and in terms of recreation, 4 things Bhagwan mentions in Shlok 16. Okay? Ensure you are disciplined and regular in all your habits. Can anyone tell me why it's so necessary? Because irregular habits and indisciplined ways will not allow you to have a regular practice. If you want to practice regularly, all your other activities also should be regular. And it's not that easy, okay? If it was that easy to reach Nirvikalp Samadhi, every Tom, Dick and Harry would do it, would reach there. So it requires special care of yourself. Outwardly, you should be prepared. Then only you will go inwardly, right? So outwardly, sleep, outwardly, food, outwardly, recreation, outwardly, work. Second step, now we go into the meditation part. Shlok 10 and 11. So, Rahasi Sthitaha, meaning find a secluded place. Secluded place means now, should I go in the mountain? Should I find a cave? Should I go to the North Pole, South Pole? What kind of secluded place should I go to? Where I will not get disturbed. That's it. In the beginning, I need a place where I will not get disturbed. And that place should be Shuchau Desha, clean. It should be clean. And Bhagwan says it should be neither too high nor too low. So that not too high, not too high. Don't forget you're sitting for meditation. Your eyes will be closed. Too high, you might topple down in your trance. And too low if you are there, insects, snakes, all kinds of things could, creepy crawlies could be coming and disturbing you. Alright, so that is in Shlok 10 and 11. Then we go again in Shlok 10, one more thing is there, Ekaki. Ekaki means alone. You are alone. It's not a group activity. Chalo, chalo, let's go for picnic and do meditation. No. This is something serious. You will be doing it on your own. Then 11 and 12. Find a suitable asana on which to sit. Why asana? Who remembers? Okay, for cold. And yeah, insulated. It's insulated. Your energy is conserved in the asana. It's not dissipated in the stone or in the grass or anything. So find a suitable asana, and then Bhagavan specifies. Find a suitable asana and upavishyasane. Sit down. You have to sit also. He's specifying that. You have to sit down. Then going to 12, he says, Ekagram mana kritva. Make your mind single pointed. Single pointed. Normally, hundreds of thoughts are there in the mind, one after the other. Find one thought and stay with it. In the same shloka 12, Yata chittendriya kriyaha. Quieten the mind. One thought, then quieten the mind and the senses of what? All vikshep, all vikalps. Okay? Stay quiet. We have to maintain that. No distractions, no thoughts. And yunjata yogam. Concentrate the mind. Remember, before meditation, concentration has to be practiced. Then some more details on posture. Go to Shlok 13. Bhagavan says, keep your body erect with your head, your neck and your spine in a aligned way, straight. And Shlok 13, keep the gaze steady. In one shlok he says, keep the gaze steady on the tip of the nose. Once he says, keep it in the middle of the forehead. Wherever it is, keep it steady. And now, mat chitta. Fix the mind on the self, on the Atma. All this preparation first. Now fix the mind on the self. Shlok 14. Prashant Atma. Keep the mind calm. Vigata bhi. No fear. Don't be afraid. And Brahmachari Vrate. Have a vow of chastity. These are the conditions that you have to prepare before you go for meditation. So up to 14 are the preparations. Then from 15 also, from 15 onwards, what will be the result of all this preparation? When you keep your mind calm, without fear, and Brahmacharita Vrate, and Ekagra, and all those things you'll do, Bhagavan says in Shlok 15, you will feel Shanti, peace, calm. You feel tranquility coming over you. Sometimes we feel peaceful also because there is nobody giving us any stimulation for getting angry. Nobody is disturbing us. So it depends, that Shanti depends on outside thing not being there or some outside conditions. But then in Shlok 18, Bhagavan says, infinite happiness beyond the senses, which has nothing to do with any outside stimulus. Nispraha sarva kamebhya yukta ityuchyate tada. You will feel some happiness which has nothing to do with any outside stimulus, beyond the senses. Then Bhagavan says, Tushyati Atmani. You will be content in your own self. And it will be a strange feeling. You are feeling happy, but you really don't know why. Your natural Anand is coming to the surface. Natural Anand. And you will now na chalati tatvataha. You will never after this deviate from the truth. Means, what is the truth? What is the truth? I am Atma. That happiness will give you that experience that Atma is there and that is my own self. From this point onwards, you will never deviate from that. Means Nishtha will come in your belief, I am Atma. I am Atma. You will never deviate from that understanding. And to make that point more clear, in 22, Bhagavan says, Na dukhena gurunapi vichalyate. Even with the heaviest afflictions, even with the heaviest dukhi scenarios, situations, you will not be shaken. What will not be shaken? Your belief, Aham Brahmasmi, will not be shaken. Because you have experienced that Anand. And when all this calmness and establishment within the self is happening, in Shlok 24, Bhagavan says, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Styaktva Sarvan Sheshata. All your sankalps become quiet. Desires. All your sankalps will become quiet. I should be doing this, I should get this, I should strive for this, I should go for that. Arey, why I should go anywhere? I am feeling so content and so peaceful here in the moment. So all sankalps will quieten down. And finally in the 24th shloka, Mana Saivendriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantata. All your senses, all your mind will get withdrawn. Will go into Atma and merge there. And as if to make sure we have understood, finally in Shlok 25, Bhagavan will say, Na kinchadapi chintayet. Don't think of anything else. You will not be thinking of anything else. This is where we have come up to, right? Good. So, how many have reached Shlok 25? Not reading, huh? I'm saying in practice. In practice. Ho jayega, ho jayega. So now we start with 26. Let's read 26 again. Yato yato nishcharati manaschanchalamastiram tatastato niyamyetat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Read the English with me. Drawing back the restless and fidgety mind from all those objects after which it runs, he should repeatedly fix it on God. Take the meanings. Etat vasham nayet. One should draw back the mind. Right at the back. At the back. See, one auntie has come. Give it to. Etat vasham nayet, one should draw back the mind atmaneva, into the self itself. How should you do that? Niyamyetat, by restraining it. By restraining it. Tat, from all those objects after which it runs. Yato, due to which chanchalam, very restless. Asthiram, unsteady. Mana, mind. Nishcharati, wanders away. Of course, we are talking about reaching Nirvikalpa Samadhi in a meditation process. But see how versatile the Gita is. This same instruction is for everything. If our shishus want to study for the exam, their mind is also wandering here and there. This instruction is good for them. If you are in an office, you are preparing for some admission project, right? Krishna, you have to do some projects, and if you are trying to get admission somewhere, you have to do a project. Don't you feel that the mind wanders here and there, distracts you from your work? Yes or no? So, same technique. Whatever you're doing, for a person who's cooking or doing some household work, their mind is also just like Kantala, and their mind is going here and there, fidgeting here and there. Whatever you're doing, this technique is applicable everywhere. Everywhere. So it's not just, don't switch off now where I will be going to meditate and all this, put the mind in the Atma and all. No, it is for everyone. Use this technique for every single area in your life. So here in this shlok, 3 characteristics of the mind are given. How is the mind? The mind is chanchalam, very restless. It is asthiram, fidgety, unsteady. And nishcharati, it wanders away. So we seem to think that this is a flaw in the mind. And it is not helping us. This mind is only like that. It is a very fidgety mind, and I have to, why God made the mind like this? Why did not God make the mind proper? Of course, we like to pass the buck always. The mind is restless by nature because that is its function. If it were not chanchal, if it were not so restless, it would not be able to do its function properly. Think about it. What is the function of the mind? What is the mind doing in the antakaran? You know, antakaran is not like one place is the mind and one place is the buddhi. These are functions of the antakaran. So what is this function of the man part of the antakaran? Louder.
Guides you. Guiding.
Gathers information from the senses. It is a receiving clerk in your office. The courier comes, the postman comes, the peon someone comes, reception mein baithta hai. The man is sitting in the reception of your antakaran. He is just taking in all the information from the eyes, from the nose, from the ears, from the skin, from the tongue. It's a receiving clerk. Now, it should have the ability to receive information from all five senses simultaneously. Yes or no? Otherwise, at any given time right now, you could either see me or you could hear me, but not both. But because your mind is able to be chanchal and move from eyes to here to this, multitasking. Your mind is a multitasker. But that is its good part. But when you don't want it to multitask also, it multitasks. So, but it is needed. But you can understand where it's needed. Tell me, where is it needed? Where is it needed to do this seeing also, hearing also, feeling the AC also? Huh? Where it is operating in sansar. You need the chanchalta of the mind when it is operating in sansar. In vyavaharik situations, you need the mind to be able to simultaneously see and hear and whatever else your body is doing. And then not only receiving, it's also aware that it is doing some actions also. So that is the good part. But when you are meditating, you don't want this chanchalta to work. So as a sadhak, you have to learn to switch the mind on when you need it and switch the mind off when you don't need it. The same thing which you should learn to do with your mobile phone also. When we are in the waking state of consciousness, when we are doing vyavahar, when we are in sansar, keep your mind on. You need it. And when you are meditating, you need to be still, you need to be steady, switch your mind off. Now let's say we are sitting for meditation. Mostly our eyes will be closed. At the most, you can put some earplugs and switch your ears off also. Hopefully you are not eating anything, so taste ka is also shut temporarily. Skin, if it is not too breezy and all that, you will be pretty still, that will also be okay. What else? Nose, please don't close the nose, that has to stay open. Okay, now most of your senses are closed. You are very peaceful, right? Still the mind is going on moving. And as the outside indriyas are shut, the inside movement becomes more and more forceful. When outside influence is not there, think about it. Even when you are trying to go to sleep at night, you close your eyes, din bhar ka all the vichars will come. Yes or no? Tomorrow ka vichar will come. What you did today, whole day, that will come in your mind. You have no other stimuluses going on, but mind is now in its process of recalling this and recalling that. So the mind gets disturbed not only by outside things, but by inside thought modifications also, vrittis. So we don't want only to stop the outside influences, we also need to stop the inside influences. What do you say, Jainam? When you are studying, you make sure outside, Mama must be making sure all outside disturbance is gone there. But sometimes some other thoughts come in your mind. What do you say, Khairya? They come, na? So that also, if you want to study properly, you want to concentrate, you have to learn the method of stopping that also. So, would you all like to know the different kind of disturbances by thoughts? It's little technical. If you want, I can omit it. or I can tell you the different technical things of different kinds of thought processes that happen. Shall I tell?
Yes.
Okay. So there are 5 different ways or 5 different types of vrittis which can make the mind get distracted from meditation. So Bhagavan uses the word yata yata. Whatever be the cause, it needs to be stopped. So what are the causes? First I will tell you the names of the 5 things and I'll explain them. The first is called praman. Second is called viparyai. Third is called vikalpa. Fourth is called nidra. Nidra, sleep. That you'll know. And fifth is called smriti. Okay, I'll try to do it fast because it's little just very like information type, okay? So praman. Praman means how you get information. Okay, praman, proof, you are getting some proof through observation that thought has gone in and it is creating some vritti inside. So praman are again of 6 types. Okay. First one is called pratyaksh. We have done this before, I think some of you will remember, but still I will tell because some are new people. Pratyaksh. Pratyaksh is when you get information through direct perception. Through your senses, you are getting some information and that is creating some movement in the mind. So let us suppose you are meditating, okay, or you're working, or you're studying, or you're doing something, and you get some sound, or you get some smell, automatically your mind will go there. Got that? That is called pratyaksh, because directly through the senses you are getting some information. Easy to understand? The next one is called anuman. Anuman means inference. So imagine now you were meditating and some smell came. From the smell in your mind only one thought has started. Looks like somebody's cooking something. You don't know it. You are inferring from the smell, somebody's cooking, must be biryani, must be whatever your favorite thing is. Where is that? Vedika. Maybe pav bhaji from Lalta. Huh? So some you'll infer that maybe it is this dish. Then the third one will be shabd. Shabd means testimony, verbal testimony. So smell came, you inferred maybe somebody is making some particular dish. From there your mind will go, that person told me that in this area it's very well made. Something you understand how your thought. Do you identify with this thought process?
Yes.
It goes on like that, okay? Shabd. Then Upaman, comparison. Now you'll say, Vedika said Lalta is the best one, but I think the one in Sardarji something or the other is better. So you will compare, your mind will be comparing, okay? And then Arthapatti. Arthapatti means you'll imply something, you'll postulate something, you'll justify. But pav bhaji now, is it good for my health? Or should I avoid? Or I'm on diet? And all sorts of, some gadbad will be going on. Yes or no? Hota hai na? And then anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi. Finally, you'll open your eyes and see there is nothing there. No, nobody's cooking anything, nothing is happening. Okay? So you'll open your eyes, nothing, it's not there only. So all this is praman. You see how your mind is getting disturbed, modification is happening. Now the second kind of modification we said was what? Viparyay. Viparyay means false knowledge, misapprehension. We have talked a lot about misapprehension, right? Seeing the snake in the rope and all that. How does that happen? There also it happens with 5 different ways. First and foremost, avidya. You don't know who you are. That is the first thing. Second is called asmita, ego, false sense of self. The third reason why there is false knowledge is rag, attachment. And its opposite is equally dangerous, dvesh, aversion. And then abhinivesh, fear of death. Why is fear of death false knowledge? If you know who you are, you know you will never die. That's why. Okay? That is viparyay. These are all viparyay. Third one is vikalpa. Vikalpa is just you have imagined something that never exists. What can never exist? Flying elephant. Horns on a rabbit. It will never exist. But the mind can think of it. Yes or no? It does think of silly things, right? For familiar, nidra, sleep, is also a thought modification. You are meditating, gone into deep meditation. Sleep, nidra. And smriti means memory of some past experience. You are studying, suddenly you remember, when I was in school, this happened, that happened. All memories come in Ahmedabad, we went and ate here and there, something. Who knows? Or from your sanskar only something comes up, some smriti. Sanskar also you are remembering only. So all these things, 5 things, are the cause for thoughts to disturb you even when there is no outside stimulus. At that time, Bhagavan says, what should you do? Restrain the mind and draw it into yourself. Which means so much savdhani has to be there. My mind has been hijacked by X, Y, and Z. Now I have to bring it back to the self. And this, when I read this, I thought immediately of one example. So if you have a pet dog and people take the dog out for a walk on the leash, they have a leash and they take the dog out. The dog runs in front, normally the leash holder is at the back. So when the dog smells something familiar, it goes running here, there, everywhere. So if it goes running into a dangerous place, what should the leash holder do? Pull the dog back. The same thing is with the mind. When the mind goes sniffing out all sorts of external stimuli of sense pleasures, like a dog, the mind runs out like a dog after sense pleasures. You are the leash holder. With the leash, you hold the mind and bring it back into the self. For that, what will you need? Buddhi. Which part? Vivek. You will need savdhani. You will need to be alert to be able to do that. Nidra, very difficult because Nidra is tamas, and tamas you are completely lost control. Till some other thing will pull you out. So let's see different ways in which to bring that mind, be the dog leash holder. Let's see how we can be the leash holder and bring the mind in. Different ways to restrain the mind from different kinds of modifications. So when you started your meditation practice, or when you will start your meditation practice, you'll be closing your eyes, and all of you have been through this stage. Let me tell you very frankly, what is it that we all have experienced when we have closed our eyes to meditate? Sleep. So the first thing we will address is stage 1, Nidra. Nidra. Why do we fall asleep while trying to meditate? What could be the reason? Lack of adequate sleep, yes.
One is you're not interested.
Not interested, not focused.
Conditions of sleep are invoked.
So cool and comfortable chair and all. AC bhi chalu hai, and that banging also has stopped. Yeah, conducive for sleep. Could be conducive for meditation, but it is conducive also for sleep.
Tamasic food.
Tamasic food.
Body is tired.
Body is tired, fatigue, overwork. All these are drowsiness is happening, or you may not be well. You may be under the weather also. It's possible. So these are all the causes of nidra happening. So what is the solution?
Awareness.
Remove all these reasons. All removable. All removable. Yes or no? Don't work so hard. Don't eat tamasic food before meditating. Don't eat too early, too quickly. I mean, not, what's the way of saying it? Don't eat too close to the time that you are meditating. Keep at least 3-4 hours gap. Sleep well. All these reasons, whatever reasons you said, they are all removable. So basically, to overcome nidra obstacle, just remove the obstacle. You don't have to do anything else. Eliminate the cause. The mind will stay alert and awake. So children, when you want to study and you are feeling sleepy, what will you do?
Find out the reason.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking the children. Carrier, what do you think you should do if you're feeling sleepy?
Wash your face.
Wash your face, very good, very nice. Or find out why am I feeling sleepy. Find out why am I feeling sleepy, and then make sure next day you don't do that thing. Correct? Okay, very good. Now you have removed all the causes of sleepiness. So now that nidra obstacle has gone. So now you are awake and you have closed your eyes. You are not sleeping, but your mind is wandering. So now this wandering problem we have to solve. Okay? And where is it wandering generally? Sansar, but where? In Kerala? Into things you like. Your mind will wander into your desires, into things which are pleasurable. Mind doesn't necessarily wander into unpleasant things. So it will first, memories of enjoyment, suppose there are memories of enjoyment, it will wander there because it's easy to go there. So now you have to try to find some way that your mind will not wander into sansar and pleasurable situations, memories of pleasurable situations. So you have to practice detachment. You have to practice vairagya, right? How to practice that? That is the main thing. How to practice vairagya? 1. remember what you are writing down in the class. What is that? All sansaric pleasures are illusory. Now you are writing now. What is the point of writing? You have to use that information when you need it. How will you remember this? By doing manan, not just by doing shravan in the class. You go home, you revise this again and again and again. Then when you need it, it will be there for you. So you remind yourself several things. Firstly, all sansaric pleasures are illusory. Second thing you remind, all sukh followed by dukh. In every pleasure, there is an element of pain. What I want this, okay, pleasure for 1 minute, after that dukh will come. Sukh ke baad dukh, dukh ke baad sukh. Cycle will keep on going. And one very simple way of eliminating all this is just remember one thing. Everything is Brahma. Everything is Brahma. So, tomorrow you'll go and you'll manage to stop the mind from wandering? No. Abhyas. Practice, practice, practice. Again, again, again. Then it comes. If you want to learn cycling, practice again and again. You'll fall down, get up, fall down, get up. It will come. Now, you have taken care of nidra, so you're not falling asleep. You have taken care of wandering mind by bringing in vivek and vairagya. Good. Now, I'm feeling so peaceful. So many of you will reach one stage that you have crossed the nidra part, you've crossed the chanchalta. You'll feel very peaceful. Very peaceful. But you'll be stuck there. And we call that stupor. Stupor. You remain in a kind of a stupor. You are not going anywhere from there. You are just basically stuck. You are basically stuck at one point of your meditation. Don't ever mistake that for samadhi. That is not samadhi. Mostly this is due to rag, attachment. To what? To that sattvic state of happiness. You are still very much in sattva. But it is better than wandering mind. It is better than nidra, which is tamas. So you see how you have moved? Nidra, tamas. Then you went to wandering mind, which is rajas. Now you have come to stupor, which is sattvic state of, but still stuck because you are enjoying that sattvic bliss. Dhun chalu hai, energy is good. Light by bon bande, chalo, enjoy. But that is not yet nirvikal samadhi. Okay? It could also be dvesh of the rajasic state. Oh, and when I went to work, it was so disturbing. Now it's peaceful. You are enjoying this because of dvesh of something else. Rag and dvesh are two sides of the same coin. If you are having rag of something, you are automatically having dvesh of the opposite. Don't think I have no dvesh. If you have rag, you also have dvesh. Because you cannot have rag without dvesh. Okay? So, you are stuck. You are stuck over there. Okay? Because you are enjoying it. So, and it's very, very difficult to come out of that because you are enjoying it so much. It's difficult. But at least you have to recognize it. If you recognize it and if you can manage to say, I will give up this sattvic stupor and now work towards something more, you will come out of it. So it requires lot of dhriti. And if you apply that dhriti, if you apply that, you are ready to sacrifice this present sattvic bliss for some higher bliss, then you'll move forward in your meditation. Otherwise, it feels so good, you just want to stay there. You just want to stay there and enjoy it. But if you have overcome your sleep, which is tamasic, and you've overcome your rajas, which is the wandering mind, and now you are overcoming the sattva, which is your sattvic bliss, then you will reach where? Brahma. You will reach Brahma. You see, it's a very small step from that sattvic bliss. You just have to penetrate through that. You have to give that up to get that. You have to give up that sattvic bliss also. Here you will need vivek to recognize this is not the place that I want to be, I have to go further. Then you need lot of dhriti to give it up also because it feels so good. Don't let this sattvic stupor hijack your practice because it is hijacking it. At that stage, think what you are feeling. And if you had to put that feeling into words, you would say what? What would you say? If you had to put that feeling into words, what would you say? You would say, I'm so happy. I'm feeling so blissful. Would you not say that? I am feeling so blissful. I is still there. I is still there. And the object which is making me blissful is also still there. You are very much conscious of what is making you feel blissful. And the whole feeling of feeling blissful is also there. Can you tell me what is there? Triputi. Triputi is very much present. And if Triputi is present, you are in Savikal Samadhi, not in Nirvikal Samadhi. What shall I repeat? You take it from someone, I cannot repeat. When you say, I am feeling so blissful because it is so nice, then I is still there, the experience is still there, and the object that is making me so blissful is still there. So that we call Triputi. Savikalp Samadhi is where Triputi still exists with only one thought. I am so blissful. That's your one thought. But we don't want to end there. We want to cross Savikalp Samadhi and go into Sahaj Nirvikal Samadhi. That is why you still have to go further. So in Nirvikalp Samadhi, what happens? The Triputi dissolves. Triputi dissolves. When Triputi dissolves, what happens? I also goes. Mind merges into Brahma. Mind also disappears as a separate entity. Then what remains? Where does it merge? Where does the mind merge? Into Atma, right? Into Atma. Atma is what? Brahma. Same thing. So what remains? Only Brahma remains. Therefore we say the knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. So this is the whole process starting from Shlok 10. We are finally coming up to here. Now, the $1 million question is, who is going to reach this state? When will I reach this state? Who is going to reach this state? So we have to find that out in the next shlok. Let's go to number 27. Shall we read it together? Okay. Prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shantarajasam Brahma Bhutamakalmasham. For, read, to the yogi whose mind is perfectly serene, who is sinless, whose passion is subdued, and who is identified with Brahma, the embodiment of truth, knowledge and bliss, supreme happiness comes as a matter of course. Matter of course. Naturally it will come. Take the meanings. Uttamam, supreme. Sukham, bliss, is written as Sukham Uttamam, supreme bliss. Upaiti comes Yenam Yoginam. To this yogi alone, supreme bliss will come to this yogi alone. Prashant Manasam, whose mind is prashant, perfectly serene. This supreme bliss will come to the yogi only, whose mind is perfectly serene. Not enough. Shanta Rajasam, whose rajas has been eliminated. And third condition, akalmasham, who is free from vice. Such a yogi will be Brahma Bhutam, identified with Brahma. So this is the $1 million question. When will we experience supreme happiness? When will we feel that bliss of Brahma, which is called Sukham Uttamam? 3 conditions you have to meet, that's all. Only 3. What are they? Prashanta Manasam. Mind has to be perfectly serene. And your rajas has to be eliminated. Shanta Rajasam. You have to quieten your rajas. And akalmasham. You have to be free from vice. So let's take Prashant Manasam. For the mind to be perfectly serene, it is not like just once. As a baseline, okay? It is not also one thrilling experience you get and wow, I felt so good. Not like that. It's just background. Like in a movie, background score is there. No matter what is going on, outside, whatever is the thing is happening, inside, you know very well gunas are playing amongst gunas. That is why your mind is not affected. So, and especially during meditation, their mind should be perfectly still with all the things that we have talked about in the previous shloka. Now, how will that happen? It will happen with Shanta Rajasam. Your Rajas has been quieted. That is why you will get perfect stillness. Because Rajas creates movement. Rajas means activity. Not just running about in the world, even inside activity. So if there's Rajas in the mind, vrittis will keep rising. And Rajas creates the desires to become stronger and stronger, and it will push you into sansar to acquire the objects of pleasure. If rajas is quietened, all this vikshep in the mind will also calm down. And if vikshep comes down, dukh will go away. So, mind has to be serene. Mind will become serene if rajas is quietened down. And rajas will quieten down also. That is, rajas is gone. Prashant manasam was sattva. Shant rajasam is rajas being attacked. And then akalmasham, free from vice. That is what? Tamas. Kalmash means impurity or a defect or a flaw. Now when we talk of flaw and defect, what is the thing that comes to your mind? What is the flaw or the defect? Can you give me some example of defect or flaw? Kalmash. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Ego. The basic flaw is avidya, ignorance. That is your basic defect. You don't know who you are. Only a person who doesn't know who they are will have Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. That is the basic flaw. You think you are a person, you think you're a mother, you think you're a spouse, you think you're a businessman, you think you're this, you think you're that. That is why Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya comes. If you think you're Atma, what will affect you? Nothing will affect you. Because we see ourselves as limited person, then what happens? The delusion happens. I am here and you are there and you are the one causing me krodh. So there is duality. Because of misapprehension, because of avidya, we are seeing ourselves as separate from the other. That makes duality. And when you see someone separate from you, you can feel Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. There is fear. What will he do to me? What will she do to me? What will happen to me? There is doubt. Shank. You will always have some suspicion. And all this is what's happening. Where is it happening? Mind. Movement. Movement is happening. And what is the cause of all this happening? Avidya. See how important it is for you to understand, at least if you have not had the full experience of enlightenment, at least you should have the intellectual nishtha. I am Atma. I am not this limited little creature whose everybody is able to press one button and create Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya in me. You have given your remote control of yourself to some people, and now they are pressing buttons and you are going here, there and everywhere. Okay. So this feeling of separateness has to be removed. Now what are these three conditions? Tell me.
Serene mind.
Prashant Manasa, serene mind. Then Shant Rajas. Quiet in the Rajas. And Akalmasha, meaning what vice? Avidya. Come out of avidya. Obviously. Now just understand. If you come out of avidya, where will you reach? Brahma. Simple. Okay. So that is the word Brahma Bhutam. When these three conditions will be met, Brahma Bhutam, you will identify with Brahma. Right now you are identifying with? Made up of Panchabhut. So now you are in Panchabhutam, you want to go to Brahmabhutam. See the word Brahmabhutam, not Panchabhutam. Such a person who has met these three conditions has identified with Brahma, Jivan Mukt. Jivan Mukt. In this lifetime itself, free. And such a person will experience Sukham Uttamam, supreme happiness. This supreme happiness has nothing to do with contact with Vishayas. It is coming from within. With an understanding, who am I? You have the understanding, who am I? You will experience supreme happiness. Even if the Jivan Mukta has to use his mind for any activity which is dictated by his prarabdha, he will still experience Sukham Uttamam inside. That can never go. What is that Sukham Uttamam? Aham Brahmasmi. I am that. That peace of knowing that cannot be lost. Okay? Want it? Who wouldn't? Let's go to number 28. Last shlok I promise you for today. Let's read it. Yunjanaivam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma sarsparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. The sinless yogi, thus uniting his self constantly with God, easily enjoys the eternal bliss of oneness with Brahma. The concluding shloka of the meditation technique. Because now you have reached Brahma. Take the meanings. Sada Yunjan, constant concentration. Atmanam, of the mind. Evam, thus. Thus meaning all what we have spoken of up till now. Vigata kalmasha. Kalmash, remember we did just now? Vice. Vigata kalmasha. Without vice or sinless. The sinless yogi, sukhena, easily, ashnute, attains, atyantam, eternal, without end, sukham, bliss. And I love this word, Brahma Sansparsham, of contact with Brahma. So you want that supreme bliss, you have to become a sinless yogi. Yogi Vigata Kalmashaha, the sinless yogi. So what is the meaning of sin? What is a sin?
It takes you away from yourself.
Okay. I looked up a dictionary for the meaning of sin. It says a deeply regrettable action. A deeply regrettable action. An action which you really regret. Deeply regret. So many things you can think of. I did like this, I really regret it. I did like that, I really regret it. But what could be more regrettable than, I thought, that you have got a human birth and you've also got access to all this greatest secret of the Gita, plus you are getting some guidance, and yet you are not using this technique to come out of your own dukh. What can be more regrettable than that? And that is a sin. Karpanya dosh. That is what Arjun recognized in himself. Karpanya dosh bahata swabhava. Arjun meant that when he said, I am smitten, what he said? By the vice of faint-heartedness. Meaning, itna sab sikha Gurukul mein, all knowledge is there in his mind, yet he's a miser. Kripan means miser. He's a miser. I am a miser because I am not using this knowledge when I need to use it. What does a miser do? He has all the wealth, everything, but he will not use it. He will stay in his dukkhi state. I read somewhere there was one Nawab or something of Hyderabad or some place. He was the richest man in the world, but he was the biggest miser. He would not use his wealth, but he lived in utter poverty and utter misery. Kripan. So, for Arjun, having so much knowledge and yet being so dukhi, knowing he's Kshatriya, knowing his dharma is to fight the war and establish dharma and bring back, get rid of adharma and bring back dharma. Yet, he's not using it and being deluded by his situation, right? In spiritual context, for you and me, who is a miser?
A person who's got all the knowledge but is not using it. Be
Got all the spiritual wealth, information, should call it information only, but not ready to give up any of his material wealth, any of his material attachments, any of his material comforts, any of his material pleasures. He wants to hoard that. Because he's afraid if he gives this away, what will happen to him? Even though he knows from this wonderful book that he's studying for 10 years, that if you give up attachment to all these things, you will get supreme bliss. But he's holding on to his little bank balance and his little ego and his little sense of pleasure as like a miser, when he's been told not to give up the wealth, to give up the attachment to the wealth. That's all. Attachment has to be given up. And to have that understanding, if I give up this attachment, I am going to get a much higher bliss. I know all this, I have been told it, but karpanya dosh. But a sinless yogi, now we have to reach that state of sinless yogi. This sinless yogi has followed the teachings of the Shastras. He has given up the attachment. He has worked through all the steps. He has done his karma yoga. He has done his upasana. He has done everything. He has purified his intellect, and therefore he understands, if I give up this attachment to this small little thing, I am ready and open and making myself available for the highest bliss. So that is it. Vigata kalmasha. Vigata always means without. Kalmash means sin, impurity. What is that? Too much rajas and too much tamas. That is the sin. That is the impurity. What is the impurity? Too much rajas, too much tamas. So what is Bhagavan telling us? How will we reach the state of sinless yogi? Yunjanevam Sadatmanam. Sada. Constantly fix the mind on the self. Constantly fix the mind on the self. Means what? Keep remembering I am not the body only. Keep remembering I am not these thoughts which are troubling me. Keep remembering I am not to be affected by judgments, nor am I to be making judgments. Constantly remember I am Atma. Constantly remember I am above all limitations. Sadatmanam. Constantly. Atmanam means mind. Constantly keep in the mind Yunjanevam. Attached to Atma. Attached to the self. Attached to this knowledge. So that is why sometimes some reminders have to be sent every 2-3 days. I am Atma, remember I am Atma, remember this, remember that. Some reminders have to keep coming because Sansar sucks you out. Sansar creates all kinds of amnesia. Amnesia of who you are. Amnesia, loss of memory. You have forgotten who you are. You have to be reminded. So what will be the benefit of this remembering and constantly remembering I am Atma? Kya karega? What is the benefit? Brahma sansparsham atyantam sukham. Sukham, bliss. Atyantam, eternal. Brahma. Sansparsham, contact with Brahma. The eternal bliss of contact with Brahma. Contact means join. Like this you cannot contact. When you contact with Brahma, you will get eternal bliss. So, once I was reading one book of Swami Chinmayananda, and he was also describing this meditation process and this contact with Brahma, or meditation process. So he says, I will read, he says that the time will come when the meditator's mind reaches a state of deep silence. You must have experienced, okay? Meditator's mind will reach a state of deep silence. And Swami Chinmayananda calls this state the white heat of meditation. The deep silence he calls white heat of meditation. So this white heat is purifying the mind. Just like you in a furnace, you put some iron, then the iron gets purified, or gold. You put gold in a furnace, the gold gets purified. All the impurities burn out. So at that white heat of meditation, what he says is, everything halts. Everything halts. You feel still, and he calls that moment halt moment. He has named it halt moment. And at that moment, he says, it is a frontier line. Frontier line from one country to the other. So the frontier line beyond which the mind cannot travel. So when you reach the frontier of India, you cannot just walk into Pakistan, right? So the mind beyond that halt line, beyond that halt moment, this mind cannot go. This is the last point where it can go. Then what will happen to it? If you stay there in that white heat, your mind will dissolve. The mind will dissolve. The mind will dissolve. What will be left? Brahma. So every time something like this happens, I remember my Kailash Yatra again. And when you go from the government Yatra, we can go in a bus up to one point. That point is called Dharchula. It is in Nepal. Just there also, Dharchula is here. We have reached by bus. There is a river, and Nepal is on the other side. Up till Dharchula, we are in India. Beyond that, there is no motorable road. you have to get out of your motor, bus, whatever, and you have to walk. So all motors, mind has to be dropped in Dharchula. Then you cross over into Nepal and you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk. Similarly, I thought of that when I read this, that at that point, if you have the dhriti and the awareness and the alertness, at that moment when everything has stopped, you'll get it. You'll get it. So one example is there, I was asking Nikhil all the technical, scientific things because I do not have a scientific mind. So when a balloon has been blown up, big like that, and you let it go, okay, it goes high up in the sky by itself. So apparently, what happens when the balloon goes to higher and higher altitudes, the balloon has to keep expanding. Why? He told me, I don't know. He said it has to expand because it has to match the low atmospheric pressure outside. But if it keeps going higher and higher and keeps expanding, what will happen at some point? It will burst. So the balloon has to burst as it goes into higher and higher altitudes. Same thing is happening to the mind. As the mind goes into higher and higher altitudes of meditation, at one point, at the point of white heat of meditation, at the point of halt moment, it will simply burst. But what is burst? No, it will simply dissolve. When it dissolves, it merges into Brahma. And that is the meaning of Brahma Sansparsham, intimate contact with Brahma. When mind has dissolved, only Brahma is left. And why is it intimate contact with Brahma? I like that very much. Anyone? Intimate contact with Brahma. There is nothing and no one and nothing at all that is more intimate with you than Brahma. Not within you. You are that. You are Brahma. So what can be more intimate contact than contact with Brahma? Means you have found yourself. You have contacted yourself. You have become yourself. Your true nature you have contacted, you have identified, you have recognized, you are that. And Brahma is what? Anand Swarup. Sat, Chit, Anand. Brahma is Anand Swarup. So when you are in intimate contact with Anand Swarup, your own Anand, that is eternal bliss. So eternal bliss of contact with Brahma. Logical. Because Brahma is Anand Swarup. Now you have become Brahma, means you have become Anand. Therefore, your Anand is eternal. You have become eternal. And that is called self-realization. That is it. Okay? Will you look for happiness here and there? Why would you? Why would you? It would be ridiculous. It would be ridiculous for a Jivan Mukt to say, I need this to be happy or I need that to be happy. Maybe needed to survive. Maybe needed as an object, but not for being happy. So that is Jivan Mukt. You are Mukt of all desires. You are Mukt of all bondages. You are Mukt of all dukhs. Okay? This process is called Nididhyasa. This is the meaning of Nididhyasa. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasa. Constant remembering Brahma. Constant remembering of yourself. Constantly established in the self.